Hi everyone, it's Sintang Mayumi. For today's card, I'm going to use Concord 9th Stocking Stuffers Stamp Set and Coordinating Die Set. The stamp set comes with 3 stocking stuffers that you can add on top of the stocking. I pull out my Misti stamping tool to help me stamp the images a few times if I need to. I will stamp 3 of the stocking stuffers with Versafine Onyx black ink on a Strathmore Bristol paper. I'm going to close the lid, ink up my stamps, and then I'm going to stamp it on the paper. And then I'm going to flip the paper so I can stamp on the other side. I made a few cards today, but I'm just showing you one in the video. I'm also going to stamp the images using Versafine Vintage Sepia ink. Like what I did earlier, I flipped my paper to stamp on the other side as well. And I think I like this look than the Versafine Onyx black ink. I'm going to color one of the images with my zig markers and then color the rest of the images off camera. And these are all the images that I colored. I also die cut them with their coordinating dies. For the background, I'm going to use Memorybox Typewriter Holiday Elements stamp set. This background stamp also has sentiments that you can use along with this large background. I'm going to mark the corner of my cardstock on my Misti and add a little bit of dry adhesive in the middle so I know where to place my cardstock and so I don't have to guess when I stamp the background with the other panels. The cardstock I'm using here is Papertrey ink Pure Poppy cardstock. I love this color of red and this cardstock is heavyweight. You can also emboss this with clear embossing powder to have the raised texture of the letters, but I didn't do it because I'm making a few of these cards and I'm kind of in a hurry that day. I will adhere the pieces together with Glossy Accents. I also die cut the tiny tags from Coordinating Die Set. The stamp set also has tiny sentiments that you can stamp on the tiny tag and they fit perfectly on the tag. For this one, I stamp pull here on the tag so the recipient will know that this card is interactive. Before I adhere the elements on my panel, I'm going to die cut it first with stitch rectangle die. And now I'll have to figure out the placement of my stocking. Once I figure out where I want my stocking on my panel, I'm going to die cut a slit on the panel so we can slide the topper in and out. And that small die is also included in the coordinating die set. I also die cut the rectangle piece and stamp a sentiment, and I slide that from the back to the front of the panel. And now we can adhere everything together on the panel. If you don't want your tab, the one that has pull here, sticking out of the card, you can adjust your stocking a little bit lower on the panel. I add my dry adhesive on the only on the sides and made sure the middle doesn't have the adhesive, so the sliding mechanism can slide in and out freely. I remove the adhesive backing halfway so I can position my panel and so I can wiggle it around and adhere it perfectly spaced around it because I want the white border on my card. And then I can pull the release paper on the sides and adhere it all the way on the card base. For the sentiment, I use Simon Says Stamp Nutty and Bright stamp set. I use the sentiment Merry Christmas and I will stamp it with Versafine Onyx Black ink on my scraps of pure poppy cardstock. And I will emboss this sentiment with Wow Clear Embossing Powder and melt the powder with my heat tool. And then I will cut the sentiment with my Fiskars trimmer. Before I adhere the sentiment on my card, I'm going to distress the edges with vintage photo distress ink, and I'm using my ink dauber here to apply the color on the paper. And then I will add foam tape on each end of the sentiment, and then I will adhere that on the stocking in the middle. For the inside of the card, I will stamp another sentiment from Your Next Stamp Winter Home stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp that with Versafine Onyx Black ink in the middle inside the card. And lastly, I'm going to add Stardust stickles on all of the berries and candy canes. And my card is finished. I made a few of these cards today and I had so much fun with the interactive elements. As always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.